Hello and welcome back to Food Entertainment for my review of 1964's Goldfinger, which is part of the James Bond collection Blu-ray set. Talking about the plot of the film, everyone's opinion of the film, my opinion of the film, which has changed over the years, and the kind of like quality of the Blu-ray release, and get the film a ranking. The powerful tycoon, or Goldfinger, has initiated Operation Grand Slam, a catastrophic scheme to raid Fort Knox and obliterate the world's economy. James Bond, armed with his specially equipped Aston Martin, must stop the plan by overcoming several outrageous adversaries. Well, Goldfinger. This has been held by many James Bond fans, on average, is the very best James Bond movie of all time. Now, real true James Bond fans definitely do not agree with that. But the reason why is Goldfinger is held so high up by popular opinion from the world is because they believe that this film went ahead and introduced the formula that ever since 1964 has been a formula and a set of rules and tropes that must be followed to make a successful and true James Bond movie. Now, my opinion, like I said, used to be a bad one about this movie. It has definitely changed. Upon watching it about 2-3 days ago, we were told actually, it was more like 4 days ago actually. My opinion of this movie has definitely changed because after watching these films so many times and after reviewing them the first time, which those reviews don't exist anymore, so you can't watch them, but that's fine. I can't find myself hating this movie anymore because this movie does what a James Bond film that I later will review, that is much later than this one in the franchise, that did exactly what I was blaming this James Bond movie for doing. Goldfinger, to me, definitely does do what the world says that it did. It literally created the tropes and the rules and the formula that every single James Bond movie has to follow in order to be a true James Bond film. It definitely did do that. Something else that also did, which is very spectacular, is this. It brought the perks in the campiness and the humor into the James Bond franchise. But what it does that like I believe this really just one other James Bond film didn't do so well is you have a perfect symbiotic balance between the darker, more grittier James Bond that we have come to know up to this point in the Bond franchise with the first two installments of the series, and the lighter, more fun, more silly, more comedic side of James Bond that we will come to know in many movies after this. And I just feel that they really got the balance right perfectly with Goldfinger. And obviously it was the most successful James Bond film around at the time, and still is one of the most successful James Bond films of all time. Now let's talk about the quality. This one has really good quality. The picture is really awesome. Definitely a lot of good colors to come out of it. This film literally looks like it was made yesterday. The 5.1 sound presentation is actually pretty good. All these films are pretty perfect, especially for what they are. which are old 1960s films that didn't have high definition or 4K, and they didn't have surround sound at all. Bringing Bond to the 21st century, these films look amazing. Cannot stress that enough. And they sound quite good too. The sound gets better throughout the films, but yeah, they sound pretty good for what they're doing. Now let's go on to the ranking. This was a hard one to actually think about. But I know that I've been very open about my opinions of this film for a while, but I'm going to give this film 4 stars. I'm actually going to give this film a perfect score, a perfect rating. Brand, you asked me a few years ago, I would never have done that. I would give it a bad rating, but my opinion has definitely changed. I'm giving this a perfect score, a perfect rating. And that's what I gotta say about Goldfinger. All these films, I really strongly suggest you watch them. They are fun movies, especially the old 60s films and especially the 80s ones. The 60s are really good. As a matter of fact, I would say every one of these movies is awesome. But yeah, I would definitely check out Goldfinger. Definitely check out the first 2 films as well. And I will see you guys on my next review.